Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and welcome to week 2 of the War of the Bounty Hunters comic crossover extravaganza for Star Wars comics. This week we have just one issue, and that is Star Wars issue number 13. Now, this is the Prelude issue, and this is called The Hunt for Han Solo. So we're going to have a number of Prelude issues. We're going to have Bounty Hunters. Next week, we're going to have Darth Vader and Dr. Aphra the following week. They're all going to have their own Prelude issues, along with the issue from last week for week 1, which is the War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha. So all these really tie in very closely together, and as we'll talk about with this issue, it picks up right where we left off, pretty much with what happened with Boba Fett on Nar Shada, with Han Solo and Carbonite, and he's slowly melting, and he has to enter the gladiatorial arena to be able to be compensated to help out the guy that's going to help him with the Carbonite, right, to help stop the Doctor. And what we find out that Boba Fett leaves because he finds out the Doctor gets killed by assailants and they take Han Solo and Carbonite, so we don't even know who these people are right now. So anyway, we open up with the Rebel fleet. We have Luke Skywalker training. We haven't seen Luke Skywalker for like 6 months. We haven't had an issue with Luke Skywalker in the mainline Star Wars comics because they've been doing Operation Starlight in the meantime. But we have caught up with Luke once again, who has been training very hard with his yellow lightsaber. We're seeing him come into his own in this issue. And well, we get an alert from Chewbacca, who has a contact on Nar Shada, who knows that he has seen Boba Fett. And well, they've been looking for Boba Fett as well, as you know, they've also been running from the Empire, obviously, in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So they go with Luke and with Chewbacca because they're not trusting Lando quite yet. So they go on the Falcon over to Nar Shada, and they're asking questions. They're asking questions to the same alien lady that was the one that entered Boba Fett as Jango in that gladiatorial competition. And, well, they're making themselves known to the Kanji gang, or whatever they're called before the Kanji Club. And, well, next thing you know, that is when we have a lot of high action in this issue. We see Luke Skywalker warding off blaster bolt after blaster bolt, deflecting them away from C-3PO, away from Chewbacca, and away from the big surprise in this issue was a callback to Solo. We had Sagwa, who was at the Kessel Mines. Yes, he was at the Kessel Mines in the Solo the Star Wars story. The Wookiee that Chewbacca kind of put his head up against to say goodbye and thank you and all that sort of thing. The Wookiee that was very malnourished looking, well, he's actually working on Nar Shada as somebody that's working for the gladiatorial arena. He is the informant that was Chewbacca. So they're actually fighting against these people that don't care if they have no connection to Boba Fett. They ask too many questions, and these people want them dead. So we see this awesome chase where Luke jumps on top of this land speeder while Chewbacca's piloting it, and you see Sagwa on the back with this turret-mounted gun just firing away, and then they get to the Falcon, and they get out of there. And then R2 at the end of this has a message for Luke, and that message is, oh, he just happened to find out about all these different Jedi outposts throughout the galaxy. And Luke says, oh, it's going to take decades to find out about all these, and it's like that perfect tie-in to the sequel trilogy era where we know Luke went on his own to find out all these Jedi temples and whatnot. And we also get the message from the Rebel fleet saying, hey, they got a message from some mysterious guy claiming that he has Han Solo and Carbonite. You guys better get back to the fleet. And that's where this issue ends, and it actually says it's going to be continued in issue number 1 of the War of the Bounty Hunters miniseries, which starts next month in June. So yeah, a lot to dig in this with this issue. Is very much an action-packed, action-heavy issue. A lot of little cool things I picked up on this from the Tales of the Galaxy's Edge VR video game experience. There are different colored remotes. I know that sounds very nitpicky and very geeky, and hey, that's probably why you're checking out this channel right now, because you enjoy those type of details. Well, there's a blue one, there's a red one, there's a regular colored one, so I picked on that right away since I played that game multiple times. We also have a reference to chain codes in this issue, which is very funny because we just had a big episode with the Bad Batch episode 2, which talked all about the chain codes that were being initiated in the early days of the Empire. So it's really cool to see the story group, and really cool to see just the overall Star Wars universe, like acknowledging these different little tidbits of the galaxy so close to one another. We also have a Gamorrean that was dual wielding blasters like a gangster. Like, this guy was really cool. He's a really badass looking guy. And it looks like Luke might have killed him, maybe, because he deflected a bullet back at him, or a laser blast back at him. Awesome stuff there. But it was a really neat moment when the leader of these Kanji people was like, we better inform our bosses because this guy is actually a Jedi. Because when he first sees Luke with the yellow lightsaber, he's like, yeah, anybody can pretty much wield a lightsaber. We've seen that before in Star Wars. Just because you have a lightsaber doesn't make you a Jedi. But by the end of this issue, this guy's like, oh crap, we're dealing with a Jedi right here. We better get the Empire on our holocall ASAP to let them know that Order 66 might not have been as effective as they claimed it was. So lots of really cool things in this issue, and I'm very much impressed why this connected so well with the War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha that came out last week. Now, granted, this is a completely different series, part of the Star Wars mainline. I'm very much looking forward to see how this integrates itself with the oncoming issues, specifically from the Star Wars flagship comics, how they're going to integrate themselves into the miniseries, because we also have Bounty Hunters coming out next week. We have Darth Vader, and we have Dr. Aphra. So there's a lot of connectivity, and we know that a lot of the writers are on board with these meetings, I guess they're having, about how this character is going to integrate with character B over in our storyline. So I'm all about that. Again, there's 34 issues. If you want to collect all of this, I don't believe you need to collect all of it. Probably can just get away with the preludes that we're getting this month, as well as the single issue weekly miniseries for War of the Bounty Hunters starting in June, ending in October. I think you'd probably be okay with that, but I'm very intrigued to see how ongoing comics in June, in July, and so forth are going to actually go in that route. There was one interesting thing I want to mention at the end of this issue. There is something put out there by one of the editors on the Star Wars comics, and he's saying this is like the branching between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And just the way it's worded seems like this might be, like, by the time they get to October, we might actually see this catch up to Return of the Jedi, and we might actually see this end of this current era of Star Wars comics, and maybe we'll start in that post Return of the Jedi era the following year. So that is very interesting to me. They said they're going to change the mythos completely. I love this era because it brought me Shadows of the Empire and Legends, or Expanded Universe, with Zizor and with Dash Rendar. We know there's a lot of big characters like Dirge and Deathstick coming in from like the very obscure parts of canon and lore. So if they could do that, hopefully we could see Prince Zizor. I'm going to pretty much say I want to see Prince Zizor in every episode that I record, because I just want to will it into existence, and throw Dash in there because why not, right? We don't have that smuggler right now. Let's have Dash Rendar come back, fill the void of Han Solo while he's gone, and it'll be a good time for everybody. But with that being said, that is basically all I have to say about Star Wars issue number 13, Prelude, The Hunt for Han Solo. This was week 2 for War of the Bounty Hunters. So if you want to keep track of everything going forward with the War of the Bounty Hunters mega crossover like we've never seen before, you're already in the right place. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of that future content related to War of the Bounty Hunters. Go ahead, tell your friends, share this wherever, make it known that I'm going to try my best to keep you guys up to speed with all of this content. As I mentioned, I am doing Bad Batch reviews, so make sure you go ahead and check that out if you're watching the exciting new animated series from Lucasfilm, all about those clones after Order 66. So that is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.